very sensitive. I shared with Sasha and so many before her that it took 8 years to write. It is my life story. And the only time that I read the whole words that was pinned to this book was when I had to approve the manuscript, which means I am unable at this time, 11 years later, to read this entire book. This book is about what I went through as a crackhead prostitute, what happened to my son and my daughter, who is now 41 and 38. I'm a grandmother. I'm very mindful of my bloodline. And it was difficult for me to read it. Now, I can read certain parts, but not the entire thing. So the most popular excerpt from my book is My Nose Ring. And because Sasha read already, I would wanted her to read it, but I will just give you a brief synopsis. So when you are or have addicted personality, whether it is food, whether it is money, drugs, alcohol, whatever, when you abuse something so much, it is considered an addiction. I was addicted to crack. It didn't just start like that. You know, I started off with, in high school, smoking weed, drinking golden champagne. I don't know what they drink today, but that's what we drank in my day. And one thing led to another. And as a mother, and being subjected to the things I subjected myself to, really took me through a loop. So I'll read the back, and then I'll give you the excerpt from Crack the Christ Awakeness. I told my story to a woman for 8 years, and this is how she pinned the back of it. He should have killed me when he had the chance. When April Cofield Essex delivers these words in her motivational speeches, people sit up and take notice. Within the last year alone, well over 2,000 people have heard that statement, and it has changed their lives. A former crack addicted prostitute and prison inmate, Essex is an authority of the life of someone with a drug addiction. She speaks candidly about the destructive behavior that almost took her life and the one power on earth strong enough to help her live through it. From Crack to Christ, a witness is the written testimony of her life, and for readers, a straightforward voice that speaks from experience of an epidemic that has spread across the nation. So crack at that time was big, just the way opiates are today. So the excerpt, My Nose Ring, came from that day years ago. There is a place in Hempstead. It's called Franklin. And part of that street at that time was a stroll. I walked that stroll day and night and day, sometimes not even sleeping, but I walked it. I didn't walk it to feed my son and daughter. I walked it to feed the crack addiction that was consuming me. At that time, even though I was a prostitute and a crackhead, I had a signature hairstyle which was called finger waves. But I was not the only one. There was another person. So this gentleman pulled up on me. He said, "Keisha," and I said, "Yes." One thing you do not do on the streets is to assume the identity of someone else. You do not do that. If your name is April, answer April. If your name is Keisha, answer Keisha. He said, "Keisha." I said, "Yes." The reason why I said yes is because at that moment, I was desperate. I needed a hit of crack to go through the rest of the day, to bathe, to do whatever. I needed a hit. He pulled up. He called me the name. I responded. I got in the car. As soon as I got in the car, he immediately handed me $100. When you're known on the street to do things like that, you got to put your money away. I did. He is driving, but he's not driving where I want him to drive. He is driving where he want to drive. Can't do that on the streets either. You have to drive a person to a place where you are safe or where you can escape. He said, we're going to park, Keisha, where we usually park. I don't know where they usually park because I'm not Keisha. I'm April. And I said, no, let us park close because I got other things to do. He reached in his pocket and handed me another $100 bill. I took it. And I let him proceed to where he wanted to park. I didn't know what that was. I know where we ended up, which was on the Parkway. I didn't know what Parkway at that time. I later learned in the transcripts of my book that it was the Meadowbrook Parkway. I did not know. He pulled up on the Parkway and he parked. And I said, I'm not going in the woods. Oh, this is where we, it's going to be quick. This is where it's going to be fast. I'm not going in the woods, partner. Not me. He pulled out another $100 bill. Now, listen, I have 3 $100 bills. I haven't done anything yet. When you are known and when you are addicted, your first instinct is to run. But I figure if I got 3 and haven't done anything, I know I could get 3 more. But what I didn't know is what Keisha had done. So he said, go ahead, walk. He pops his trunk. I walk because I'm ready let me do this cat so I can get back, so I can get me a hit, so I can relax, so I can, do whatever it is that I need to do to move through coming back on the stroll later on. He walked behind me like this. I ain't think nothing of it. Like I said, I just want to do this cat and keep it moving. As we are approaching what appeared to be some sort of light, like the street light, the Parkway light, I turn around, and it's not my intentions to rob him. I wasn't that type of individual. I wasn't the type of individual like others who were desperate, because desperate people do desperate things, to rob him. Oh, we're going to get him over here. That wasn't me. That's not what I did. I believed in fair exchange, which was no robbery. You give me what I want, I'm going to give you what you want. So I'm prepared to give him what he wants. I turn around to the notion and the falling down of bang! I hit the ground. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't say heck, I said hell. I didn't even say hell, I said something else. I ain't gonna say it now. Too many of my leaders are here. And as I'm turning around and blood is dripping down my mouth, I hear him say, why did you do that to me, Keisha? And I said, sir, immediately, quickly, fast. My name is not Keisha. My name is April. He said, you lying bitch. And I said, oh my God. And so, seeing the acts, knowing that I am not leaving whatever part of the Meadowbrook Parkway alive, I positioned myself to die. Seeing the acts caused me to tilt my head. And this is what I said in tilting my head, just like this. I said, Lord Jesus, please help me. And once I realized, maybe after a minute, because after a minute, I felt like I can open my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, my ears opened, and I can hear this individual saying, what is that? What is that? It gave me enough courage to go like this to wipe the blood away and look at him. Whipping. A man that was about to cut my head off, axe on the ground. What is that he says? And I'm thinking, oh my God. Oh my God. He's seen my nose ring. One thing about Keisha was for sure. She may have been shaped, we may have been shaped like each other. We may have had finger waves in our head. But one thing she did not have was a nose ring. I want to thank you for letting me share. You're going to have to get that book to read to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. April.